Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on this channel. Today's video is going to be kind of the next step video, all about the next step. So I recently finished watching series 7 of the next step and it was very good and it left it on a cliffhanger. So this video is just going to be me talking about the next step and like my opinions, my thoughts, and yeah, so let's get cracking. Basically, I love the next step. It's like the next step is about like basically dancing. It's like a drama, kind of like sitcom reality kind of thing. Drama. It's got some comedy bits in it. And yeah, it's really funny. So yeah, season 1 was very good because it kind of like, I've got an iPad down here, I've made notes, so you know. Yeah, so series one was kind of like the introduction to it all, and it was like an audition for A Troop, and then like, you know, stuff happened, and it was like the OG original members of A Troop. So if you've watched it, it was like Riley, James, Alden West, all those kind of people, Michelle and stuff. Stuff happens like Michelle, I think she became like dance captain like somewhere in that series or some other series, I can't remember because I've watched 7 of them. And I also like the relationship between Michelle and Emily because they're literally enemies and they hate each other basically. They work up their way to regionals, they got to do like different rounds and stuff, and then they lose regionals to Dance Inc., which is another dance company, so they lose it, but then they actually get back into the competition by the wildcard spot, so they get back in and then they win regionals. Yay! But yeah, I really love this next step. If you're like a performer like me and you like dancing, it's a very good watch. It's funny. Yeah, you're gonna like it. So that's kind of my opinions and thoughts of series 1. I haven't added in everything, but yay. So series 2. So Chris makes TNS the co-owner of Superstar Dance Academy, which is another thingy, so yeah. But then Miss Kate, who's the studio head, replaces him with her sister because he wasn't that good. But you know, and then they win nationals, but it actually got cut short because they have to be evicted from the studio, and that was the cliffhanger at the end of series 2, and you'll know why in a minute. So series 3, so Lucian is the captain or choreographer of Elite Studio, which is like the elite thing. Stuff happened, like they went, I think the next step like snuck into Elite to see what their dancers was, and they got caught, and it was a bit like, ah. But yeah, so he tried to take over the building and like try and move their way and lose internationals, and it didn't work because the plan backfired, and then yeah, Kate kept the studio. And then Emily leaves the studio because of a knee injury from nationals. So then she's gone. And then they win internationals. Yay! Sorry if this video is boring. If you're not a Next Step lover, click off this video if you haven't watched the Next Step. Series 4. This one was a bit of a weird one because all the other ones had like 20 episodes. This one had 40 episodes. It took me ages to watch. And in this one, Kate steps down as studio head and Riley becomes studio head. So yeah. Also in series 1, I like the relationship between like James and Riley. Like they go out, they don't, they break up, stuff happens. But yeah, series 4, Kate steps down as studio head and Riley becomes it, and she doesn't really know what to do. She gets really stressful, and it's like, because obviously it's her first time doing it, it's a bit like, ah. And yeah, and then there's this kind of romance love story between Alfie and Riley. And this was out of the blue. Alfie is a prince. I think it's of Switzerland. Yes, it was just very random. Like, he's a prince, but they didn't let him dance. So then he came to the next step so he could dance and be happy. And I think James found out as well, which caused a bit of tension between it. I was like, oh my god. And then West Alden and James, they compete in the hip hop bangers and mash competition. I think that's how they say it. They did a couple rounds. They did their dancing, you know. Yeah, and they won. And then Michelle gets injured at regionals, and then they lose, which is sad. But it's supposed to happen. Whatever's supposed to happen. And I think it was funny because Alden is kind of this weird character. Like, he was at Hip Hop and Bangers Mantish, he was just hip hop competition, whatever it's called. It was just very weird, and he's funny. He is quite funny. Series 6. The next step, they tried to get back on the road, and they put on a dance convention to like raise money. They put on a dance convention to raise money, and Emily, because she's now the studio head of Michelle, they try to put an escape room so the dancers can work together and put aside all their differences, put aside all their history and drama that's happened on, so they can just reconvene and be like, it didn't really work, but it did in the end. So yeah. Oh yeah, this is the spoiler. This whole video is all spoilers, so I'll just let you know. And then Miss Angela, oh, I do not like Miss Angela. She was the studio head of TNS because Miss Kate hired her, but then Miss Kate didn't realise that she was trying to take over the studio and kind of make it her studio, and and then there was a bit where all the people threw cake at her, and it was very funny because she literally had like her face on the wall, like, no, like, and the way, and she was being mean to Piper as well, because she couldn't get an aerial. She was like, "You got to do an aerial right now, and if you don't get it, you're cut from the team or something." So yeah, I felt bad with Piper because, and then it kind of put her off dancing. Yeah, it put Piper off dancing, and then she kind of felt more like insecure, like, oh, I can't dance. I need to. And then Talia, who was actually in the original, like, series 1, she created a group called Acronation, and it's just kind of an acro group, and they do a load of acro stuff. And then there was a bit, I think it was this one, where Amy, she kind of goes between Acronation and Next Step, and it's like, they find a way to get rid of Miss Angela, and then Miss Kate fires her because she wants to take over the Next Step. Like, if you want to be a news to head, don't take it over. You just got to be nice. Series 7. Wow, this is a quick video. I thought it was going to be 10 minutes, but it's like 8 minutes. So, A Troop go to Nationals, yay! Then Michelle and Emily are co-studio heads, so they're like working together of the Next Step. And then Angel surprises Michelle with emotional goodbye. They have her costumes in, like, because she's done nationals before, like, in there. And I think Emily gets jealous and she rips them all up. So it's a bit like, oh damn, like, tension. Lily returns to A Troop, who's Miss Angela's daughter, and it creates a bit of tension because the dancers don't trust her, and they're like, they cheated at, well, Miss Angela's on-call dance studio, I think it is. They cheated at nationals or internationals, and they that I don't know whether to trust her, but in the end, they can trust her. I'm just talking about the episodes, really. Yeah, and then this thunderstorm happens when they're rehearsing. Henry struggles with the choreo, but Lily turned the lights out so that they could have more time to rehearse because Henry was struggling with the choreo. And there's loads of like love relationships, and it's a really good watch. It can make you laugh, it can make you cry, it's some sad at some points and make you happy, and it's all tense sometimes. And then recently, well, the ones I recently watched is about Dance Mania, and Nick becomes the co-owner because Michelle leaves, and then Nick comes in. He's a very funny character. Yeah, and he wants A Troop to be in the TV show called Dance Mania, and it's really funny because Emily's like, no, that can distract them from international. Is it nationals? Yeah, nationals. It'll distract them from nationals, and then all this stuff happens. Finn is late to Dance Mania because he works all night to get the choreo and like the moves, because they have a list of moves and you gotta know them all. And then he was late because he slept, because he worked all night and he was exhausted. So yeah. And Emily tries to get him there. They try to book flights and it's very panicky. She's like, oh my god, we need to book a flight. And then I think Finn says, oh yeah, my dad or my uncle, he's with an airport he works on planes or something. He's like, and then Emily's like, why didn't you say that 50? Why didn't you say that an hour ago or something? Yeah, that's funny. And then Piper gets cut from the dance because Finn isn't there, so it's a bit like, I feel bad because, you know, because they did the camera block, and then they said that's where the cameras are going to be, so Nick had to make a decision to either keep her on the dance, but because Piper's partner was Finn, so they had to cut off the dance, and I felt very bad. But then he did get back in time, and it was all good in the end. And yeah, Ozzy performs a musical theatre piece in the Resurrection Round. That was very funny and very good, because Finn helps him, and Finn also sings a song to Piper to see if she would forgive him for the trouble he's caused, because she got really worried about him. Yeah, Rochelle auditioned for a solo spot and got it like behind the Next Step back, so she went in as a solo, but then in the end they all dance together as the Next Step, so Rochelle joins the Next Step and they dance in the final round all together, which gets them disqualified. So yes, because this is very not chronological order, because one of the judges did offer Rochelle a contract. It was a cheating way, like saying, if you're guaranteed to win, you have to perform your solo at 85%, but you've got a 5-year contract with me. And Rochelle was like, why would I do it 85%? But yeah, so she didn't take it, and she's like, you know what, I'm going to dance in the Next Step to get disqualified. So, because, you know, and cheating is not the right way, people. Emily leaves the Next Step to create her own tour with Michelle, because Michelle surprised Emily and said, I need help with this, something about a tour and this offer and negotiating, and Emily is very good at negotiating and stuff. And then she was thinking about it, she's like, I'm going to do it, but then she, at Dance Mania, she didn't want to say goodbye to the Next Step, so she just left. Like, she's not good at saying goodbyes. So yeah. And then A Troop wanted to compete at Nationals in place of B Troop, because Dance Mania was... No, because A Troop was going to Dance Mania, they wouldn't allow to be doing Nationals, because if they won Dance Mania, they'll be professional dancers, and professional dancers can't do Nationals, but B Troop already rehearsed and like done all of that of Nationals. And then it was, at the end, it was like they walked in like, who's going to Nationals? We don't know, because it's a cliffhanger, so we don't know. So that was a very, very long overview of the Next Step. It was a very non-chronological order. Yeah, like the original thing from A Troop is like Riley, Talia, James, West, Alden, Daniel, and stuff. So my favourite character from the Next Step, from series 1, 2, 3, and stuff. Oh, I like the relationship between Amy, Henry, and Piper and Finn, because it was kind of like a love relationship, but with friends, and it was kind of rah in series 7. Yes, I'm very confusing. Yeah, from series 1, I'd probably say my favourite characters are probably Riley, James, Alden, and West, maybe, because, you know. So that was like series 1, 2, 3, and then 4 was like Noah. He came in because he was from J Troop. And then from season 7, my favourite is probably like Kingston, Henry, Ozzy. They're all very funny. And Nick, the co-owner of The Next Step, because he's very, very funny. He's very passionate about dance, but he can't choreograph the dance, because in one of the episodes he was going to choreograph a dance. But he's not a choreographer, but he's very passionate about dance, which was very, very funny. And yeah, so if you want to watch The Next Step, watch it, because it's very, very good. Sorry if this is confusing, because I thought it was going to be a better video than this, but it's just me rambling on about The Next Step. In the series before, they had this intro song. I'll play it for you now. So it was this song. It was a bit different. It was a remix. I don't want to get copyrighted. And it kind of played at the beginning, and it got really beaty. And then I did this thing, like, every episode, I did this. I went like jumping, because it's a jumpy song. But yeah, that was like, It was weird though, because it was like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, season 6. It was on, and then season 7, maybe some series 6, it just had the next step sign, and it didn't have the theme tune. I was like, And also, during the series, the that song I just played, don't know if you heard it. It got faster and slower, and different pitches and different seasons, and faster and slower, and yeah. So that's me rambling on about the next step. I hope you kind of understand it. It's on Netflix, but the last series 7, is either on BBC iPlayer or Sky, and you just search it on Sky. That's what I did, and then you download it and watch it. Yeah, hopefully you kind of understood what I said. I kind of spoke really fast, so I don't know if you're going to understand me, because I did not do that in chronological order. I just said whatever, really. I was going to film tomorrow, but I just decided to film it now. This is not as good as I thought it would have been, but whatever. The next step, we love the next step. Go watch it if you love dancing and stuff. Just thinking if there's anything else I want to say, because I ramble on and then I forget what I'm going to say for the next bit. I forgot to say something between Michelle and Emily's relationship. They were enemies at the start, but in the end, they're best friends. Yeah, like, it's good, it's funny, it's drama, reality TV, so they speak to the camera, like, when something's happening and when they're talking about their feelings. And yeah, right, hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's not too confusing. Probably will be confusing if you haven't watched the next step. You'll be like, huh? Who's this? Because I'm telling you who all these Aussie Kingston, Henry, Amy, Piper, Talia, like, from different seasons, and you're like, who are they? I don't even know who they are or what their personality is like. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to get a video out, and I love the next step. I'm definitely going to rewatch it. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below, hit the notification bell as well, and you'll be notified when I upload new videos on this channel. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.